I gotta go got it here.
Well, good afternoon,
Got it.
everybody, and I hope everyone had a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the White Sands Self Care Community. I am your host, Laura Cross, and your resource for self care, education, resources, connections, and collaborations. And this afternoon, I have with me Pam Stoddard. She's a transformational coach and an author who believes in facilitating experiential learning through her platform, growplayfully.com. At 37, Pam had a spiritual breakthrough which ignited her passion for metaphor, learning, and play. And she now invites everyone to delve into her fascinating journeys and philosophies, which are centered on the concept of the true self. Pam, thank you so much for being here with us today. You know, your journey has been really quite unique, from floral design to equine assistance learning to psychotherapy. Can you share with us how these varied experiences shaped your concept of the true self?
Oh my goodness, yeah, what a journey. What a journey that is, I think, for most of us. And by the way, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time and your interest in the book and just having this dialogue. So for me, I mean, it's just amazing how, we grow and learn and we a lot of us get out of high school and we have absolutely no idea what we want to be when we grow up. And what a process that is, right? And sometimes we flounder around. And I was fortunate enough to be a third generation floral designer. So my grandfather and my dad both had interest in floral design. My dad by default, because he floundered for probably most of his life, just trying to figure out what he wanted to be when he grew up. So from there, yeah, I have always had a passion for horses and just had that epiphany at 37 where it was pretty traumatic. I share about it in the book. And from there, I just found horses, in a way I never thought about horses. And it's been a really beautiful journey to experience equine assisted learning for me as my personal growth. And then also just leading me down the path of just discovering how I show up in the world and the impact that I can have on the relationships around me and vice versa.
Yeah. And you mentioned floundering. I think we all kind of flounder. I tell people, I said, I'm maybe 55, but I'm just getting started. I just figured it out. So I think we all have a tendency to flounder. But
Yeah.
like you said, we're all on a journey and we're all on a
Yeah.
different journey. And you mentioned your
Yeah.
book. You wrote a book, The Awareness of Being, increasing your capacity for connectivity. Um, can you tell us more about that and how you came up with the grow playfully?
Oh gosh, I love that question. It's so funny. Well, you don't know because you weren't there, but I'll share it with you. My ex-husband, I took him to see somebody that reads she does numerology. And it was for him. The session was for him. It was a gift for Christmas. And she started unfolding this. And then she turns to me and she says, I have to share this with you. This is your year to grow, or this is your year to be playful. And I laughed. I looked at my then husband and I said, oh my God, how fun is this? I had just gotten in the mail a license plate for my car that says be playful. And she nailed it, like, she picked up on that. I mean, what are the odds that somebody would pick up on that, right?
Right.
So, there was just this knowing, Laura, that I needed to be more playful. It was just a knowing. I don't even know how to describe it beyond that, but I bought a Mini Cooper Roadster, I got a license plate that said "Be playful," and I've just been on this journey now. This is like this whole new fun chapter where it's just about playing in this huge sandbox that we called Earth. So that's it. It's just a knowing. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's pretty freaking fun.
It's hard to describe because I have another colleague that does the numerology, and she did that on me once, and it's amazing how it can describe you to a T. Some things may no longer be, but some things are what you're coming, and it's all just from the numbers. That's another whole amazing subject. But I love the playfully because I
Yeah.
think a lot of times, not to say that life's not serious, but I think sometimes we take it too seriously. And so I
Yeah.
really love the whole playful, you know, attitude and stuff. Um, so your book, I know you shared it with me and you've been sharing it with others, right? I believe it's
Yeah.
free and available for most people.
Yes, it absolutely is. Yeah. If you go to growplayfully.com and just go to the about link and it's like the third click down is the book, and you can download the PDF. So the book was inspired by this this being playful journey that I'm on. Is one of the things that I discovered was internal family systems and really connecting with my own inner children, of which there are multiple inner children, that got kind of frozen in time as I experienced different things in my life, which I share again in the book. So, and just reconnecting with those parts of me, I mean, IFS, the internal family systems model, does that so beautifully, with so much compassion and care. And it's just amazing. And so that was part of my discovery when I launched to be more playful. It's just connecting with those kids on that playground.
It's different. So I mean, so what inspired you then really to, I mean, just to finally put pen to paper and to, put all that out?
Well, that actually
Sure.
started quite a while ago, and it truly has been 60, almost 60 years in the making, because I'll be 60 in February 19th, which is what my release date too for the book. That was my goal. I didn't quite make it, but I really wanted to keep that date there because writing the book was a gift to myself, really. And so I consider it a birthday gift to myself, because I think we're always rebirthing, being reborn in some capacity. And so that's what that was, as part of that. So I stopped for a long time not writing. I mean, I really wanted it to be as organic as possible. And so I started it probably 7 years before my husband and I got divorced. And then just, things, right? Life,
Mhm.
I just let life just take over. And or maybe it was perfect, that I was supposed to just start it and then just put it down and then just go experience life and then go back to it when the time was right. And so I think the time was right. I moved 4 horses and a dog and myself clear across to Ohio from California. And it seemed like a good time to pick back up on the book. So I did. And I finally
Wow.
finished it, which I'm really proud that I finished it, because, it's one of those things, it's just, I think it can be a little scary to put your story out there like that. So, but it's also can be very healing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and when you talk about the rebirth thing, is that when you're talking about like wake up and become more aware in our lives, or is it two
Yeah.
different things? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Can you
Yeah.
share some
Just I
practical tips
yeah.
with people of what you mean by that?
I think there's just a level of awareness that can come to us as we start really doing that deeper exploration. I'm not a therapist. I have no formal training in psychotherapy, in psychology. Everything that I've learned because I've been super curious, and I picked up books and I listen to podcasts and I journal and I mean, I just do all this. I went down the rabbit hole is what I did.
Many of
So
us
I think
have.
yeah, many of us have, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's always there, right? It's always there for us to go down and just really start exploring. And yeah, you can feel like Alice just tumbling, and there's pianos and books and shelves and dishwashers and things flailing around you as you're going down the hole. There's so many things that you see, as you venture down that path. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And you're just I love that story of Alice in Wonderland and how she's having these experiences, and some make her big and some make her small. And isn't that true? That we can have experiences that, make us, you know, feel small or big, and, really ultimately what we are.
Right. Yeah, it is. As I say, because we all gone down those different rabbit holes or chasing the shiny objects, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
experience has, I think, a lot to say, about it because you've lived through certain things, and things that you've lived through, you can help share your experience that can help others that may be struggling and not know what to do with it. I know you talk
Yeah.
about living a life on fire. What
Yeah.
what does that mean to you?
Oh gosh, it's just, there is something so invigorating about waking up in the morning and just putting on a song that just, you woke up and maybe there's a song in your head and you get up and you put that song on and you dig into it. Whatever that song is, that's to me living life on fire. That's just one tiny little aspect. But it's
Mhm.
really just being who you are in that moment, no matter what, and not being afraid. There's, fire, when fire takes hold, it just goes. It just goes,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. And just, can we do that? Can we wake up in the morning and just go? Just go do whatever that is that really lights us up. That's living life on fire. And it's available to all of us, and it's just there's so many little things that just seem to get in the way. And, can we sort through that? Yeah, absolutely. We can absolutely sort through all those little things that get in the way.
It's almost like just
So,
a different perception and embracing it instead of,
yeah.
being the one running around trying to put out all the fires. Because that's what we're always hold or always heard and told about, is putting out all the fires. But, to kind of
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work and the gear's really heavy, and the trucks use a lot of fuel. I mean, just there's a lot to being a firefighter.
Mm,
It's just, I would imagine it's exhausting.
yeah.
So
So
we
what
don't
was
have to
your
do it.
goal or what are your intentions with the book? What are you you work with
First things first.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
You
so
work with,
yes, no, so you work with people then or
sure.
or you just share this or how come you
Yeah. Coaching. So education, I think the book, as I was going through it and working on it, it started off just sharing my story. And then it started evolving into a more of an educational piece. And when I started Grow Playfully, I thought, Grow Playfully, the coaching, so the shingle that I hung with Grow Playfully, I thought, oh my gosh, this could be education-based marketing for people. It could be twofold. I don't I don't want money for it.
right.
But if somebody is inspired by what they read and they want to come work with me, they want to work together on whatever. Again, I'm not a therapist, so we're not going there.
No,
but
no.
just but just experiential learning, that I think that's something that we're all qualified to do is experiential learning. So how, I don't know, I couldn't even give you a scenario so much as what that would look like. But if you came to me, Laura, and you said, one of the things I've identified is that I'm like really struggling with communication. Like my husband and I, or, my daughter and I, or whatever, we're just like, rah, then, you know, dig into that. I mean, we all communicate, but how are
Right.
we communicate and how is it working for us? And sometimes we don't see something that's happening. Like there's things I'm doing right now that I don't see that maybe that's getting in my way. And if somebody were to reflect that back to me in some way, then I could look at it. They could mirror that back to me and I could look at it and go, huh, yeah, I never really thought about it that way. And there's just so many variables, so it's so individualized. When we support each other, we have to get to know each other,
Oh, yeah.
and really see how we're showing up so that can be reflected back in a way that's really compassionate, understanding that, hey, we're all human and we're all on this journey together and we all have these things, so we can get through them together.
So with your transformational coaching, do you do that one-on-one? Do you do it in groups? Do you ever hold retreats or workshops?
I have 2 offerings right now through Grow Playfully. One is the art of being yourself, and that's, if you read the book, you'll understand that's capital S self, but it's also those little parts of us too.
Mhm.
They need to be seen. So that's really important, and they are parts of our bigger true self or our best self. And then the other thing is I love to see people on fire. I love to see people living their passion, really just wanting to get up in the morning and just go. Just take off like fire. So that is looking at a passion or a purpose statement. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing with my precious life? Right. So that's an individual one on one. The prerequisite of that is the group work, though. So the group work I think is so important because we live in community, we live in
Mm.
groups. So group work. So the art of being yourself is actually a group process. So it's an 8-week course. It's totally affordable. I'm only asking $60 per person. It's better if you bring a whole tribe. and then you're working together and you're learning a similar language with each other, so that you can now speak that language with each other, and you've had that experience together. And I think that's really important. So yeah, grab a tribe, come on over. It's totally affordable, you know.
So you do them in person and
Come.
online
Yeah.
as well?
Good.
Yeah,
Well, in person, not so much right now.
yeah, right.
So I haven't opened up for that yet with Ohio, now that I've moved here. And yeah, I just haven't extended it to that part. But online, I mean, it's so nice, and the
Oh,
impact
yeah.
on the environment is so, there's so much I love about online. So yeah.
Wonderful. So is that the best way then for people to contact you, is the growplayfully.com? Because we can make sure we put that
Yeah.
in the comments too.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. And
Oh,
the emails connect@growplayfully.com. So
okay. Well, thank you. I
thank
appreciate you
you.
taking the time being on here. And we'll make sure all your contact information is in there. And please remember, if you've got something coming up or you got a group or something starting, feel free to post it in the group, because this group is all about education, resources, connection, and collaboration. I love building these communities, and that's why I do these. So I want to
Yeah.
really thank you for taking the time and sharing that with everybody today.
Well, thank you for your time and for allowing me to share that with everybody today. And thank you for all that you're doing too. Super fun. And I love the community that you're creating. So thank you.
Thank you. I have a lot of fun with it. And we've got, between that and the TV show with Mindful Mondays, it's just, I love being able to meet people from all over the world. Like you said, constantly learning. There's
Yeah.
so many things to learn. So,
Yeah. So
um,
true.
so I want to thank everybody for joining us, and anybody, if you've seen the posts in the group or if you're around, we do have the Conscious Living Expo that is on tomorrow, 2 hours. Me, Peter, and 4 other fantastic speakers will all be talking about conscious living. So I invite everybody to join us, and we will see you guys next week. So thank you.
Thanks, Laura.